Welcome to yet another great edition of Younger Life Live. Good morning and welcome. I'm Rick Federici.
And I'm Mary Anthony.
How about a big scream, everybody? 1, 2, 3. Woo! All right. So
we have a party going on
this
in here.
is so unreal. Mary and I have got so many great things going on here in the studios today. Today we're going to talk about the torch run.
We are talking about a party. That is a
Look at
celebration. Look at this.
Thank you, Sandy, and thank you, crew. Look at this. I just want to let you know, LaPorte County, Indiana, bicentennial, celebrating how many years? Oh my gosh,
200 is a bicentennial.
Thank you so much. Well, that's why I got you guys here to tell me that.
Yes.
We got
so
some
see, we are having
guests.
a party. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We do. We have a room full of great guests, and
Yes.
we're going to learn all about this torch run and any other kind of legacy projects going on in the area that maybe we're not all aware of. So,
Are you ready to rock and roll?
let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's start on this side. No stranger to WIMS, Younger Life Live, and our community. In fact, everybody in here is a community pillar, and we're very honored to have them all here today. Let's start on this side. Chancellor, why don't you introduce yourself to our WIMS and Younger Life Live TV audience today?
Well, my name is Jim Dworkin. I'm the Chancellor Emeritus from Purdue University North Central, which is now called Purdue Northwest. And I live in Chesterton, Indiana, and I'm just really happy to be here on the show with you today, Rick.
Woo! Big round of applause, everybody. We skate over to Sandy.
I am Sandy Gleim, and I am the Vice President of the Unity Foundation of LaPorte County, and I'm also a member of the Bicentennial Planning Committee that's been working for several months to put the big overview together to have a great time and a memorable event for the county.
Big round of applause, Sandy. I know you're super excited about introducing this next guest, so I'm going to step back here.
Yes, we have Bruce Johnson with us today, who was one of my favorite teachers, really my favorite teacher in school. So he's going to be a torchbearer.
Yes, I'm retired after 40 years of teaching, and I'm also currently the president of the LaPorte County Historical Society.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's what I'm saying. This is awesome. Let's go to the back. Thank you, Sanders, our executive producer. Camera shot. Let's go for it.
I'm Dan Plath. I'm president of Northwest Indiana Paddling Association. I work for NiSource in the environmental department, and actually right after this coming weekend, I'll be starting with the National Park Service after 9 years of working for NiSource. You know, great career there. I'm switching over and will be the Chief of Resource Management for the Indiana Dunes National Lakeshore.
Oh,
Look,
fantastic. How fun. Yeah.
Look at this. Woo! This is really exciting because this is just a sampling of some of the great folks that will be running, of course, this weekend and our torch run, which I'm so excited about.
I know. So are all of you torchbearers then for this weekend?
Yes.
I am,
This run?
yes.
I am, yes.
I'm not. I'm just
Okay,
one of the
you're in
committee
the
members
planning.
who help the planning.
Oh, that is certainly not just Sandy, that's for
We're
sure.
supposed to wear this hat when we
Oh,
run.
Yes.
I love it. And you had a fabulous jacket
I
on
had a
too.
jacket, too. I took the jacket off because Rick was looking at the jacket like he wanted it. So
I did. I'm like, I like
Covetous.
that. It would match
How
the red
funny.
hair, kind of cool.
Yes,
It's got
Yes,
this
absolutely.
beautiful-
there is torch run gear. Each of the torch runners
go.
has received gear from the state, and everybody in the state who is a torch runner through all the counties is wearing the same gear. So they all have that same branding going on.
Dan is on
Fantastic.
the T-shirt if you want to focus on that.
Look at that.
Oh,
Okay,
that
we got
is
that camera
great.
shot there, Sanders. Look at Dan's cool shirt. I'm absolutely loving that. Very, very nice. Look at that. Perfectly in the shot.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. So
Can
the
we-
shirts, the jackets, the hats.
Can we talk about the torch run itself a little bit? Is this, what kind of planning went into this? And has this ever been done in Indiana?
To our knowledge, it hasn't been done.
Okay.
And there's been certainly months of planning go on. Mitch Bishop, who is the county planner, is the one who really has been leading the committee effort for the county. And we've had a great committee, which includes Jane Daly from Convention and Visitors Bureau, myself, Christy Chatterton from the LaPorte County Library System, Drew Gessie from the Chamber of Commerce, Christy Gelski, who's one of the policemen from Michigan City.
Sure,
Again, just several people that have been coming together monthly. Chris Pate from United Way is another one. They bought the bison for us, the painted bison.
Oh,
So we come together and
fantastic.
talk about all these logistics. And then you imagine 33 torchbearers. You have to select them. They have to be nominated. You have to map out this route and how it's going to work and how they're going to travel. And then parties and different things that go on, promotion. It's a small committee that's been pulled off a lot of hard work over these few months.
Just brought up a lot of good points I had questions about. So you said 33 torchbearers. Is that in our county County only, or 33
yes,
in the?
that's our county.
Yes.
Wow.
I know.
So, do you know how far the distance is over the course of the entire state? Do you know how long it is? I was reading. I think
Dan, do you
Dan,
know
you
that?
knew, right?
I think it's 3,300 miles is what I had read.
Wow.
And if our county has 33 torchbearers, do we know how many there are in all? I know it's 92 counties. I was reading.
Right.
So do we know, is that roughly how many are in each county? That is a lot of running.
I think some of the counties had a lot more. I
Yes.
was-
Really?
Larger counties, I bet like Marion County
Yeah,
probably
that's
has
what
got
I
a
read.
lot of
Really?
torch bearers to cover, bigger counties.
In some of the counties, I was at a meeting and they were talking about some people, they were in a stadium and they just pass the torch. They go maybe 100 yards. So the distances are going to vary. Some people go 5 miles.
I see. Wow, that makes sense too. The more get some more hands in there.
More people
As
on it.
far as you guys, do you each know how far you're
I
running?
was just going to ask that because I'm.
Do you know how far you're going, and have you been training for that?
Dan, we're going to start with you, young man.
So I think I'm the exception. I won't be running with the torch. I'll be paddling with it. So
Really?
yeah.
Can you tell us
Awesome.
about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So, and this is actually a really neat opportunity for people who would like to kind of get in on the action and be part of this bigger celebration. So, this will be the 10th annual Trail Creek Fun Float, which will be held concurrently with the Indiana Bicentennial Torch Relay. And what will happen is on Saturday about 3 o'clock, we're going to launch. We usually have about 150 paddlers on Trail Creek every year. And we'll go up Trail Creek up to Friendship Gardens. Now I believe it's a botanical gardens
Yes.
now. And then we'll do a little tour. A lot of times people from Friendship will show around the gardens. And then we'll paddle back. On the way back, when we hit Trail Creek Marina, we'll actually pass one of the Bicentennial Legacy projects, the Michigan City ADA launch. So people will be able to see that at Trail Creek Marina. It will be passed off to me, and then we'll paddle it. It's just a little under a mile from there up to the new North Point Pavilion at Washington Park. So it'll be really neat because we'll have all these people gathered together paddling with it, and we'd love to have a lot of participants. So if you're interested in getting out in a canoe or kayak this weekend and seeing beautiful Trail Creek in Michigan City, Indiana, it's a great opportunity. And I kind of joke, but it's a paddling event 200 years in the making. So
Yeah,
love it.
that's great. And, for people that are interested, are kayaks and canoes provided, or you bring your own?
you can bring your own. We do have some loaner boats. The Northwest Indiana Paddling Association has 14 kayaks and about 8 or 9 canoes that we let people use.
That's nice.
Nicole Messakar with the LaPorte County Soil and Water Conservation District also has a program that's going on right now with these big Voyager canoes. Wilderness Inquiry has them in town, and she's doing the Trail Creek Week where they'll get over 900 local kids on the water paddling from mostly Michigan City schools. But she has a program going, so if you don't feel comfortable going in a your own kayak or canoe, these things are almost like battleships. They're 24 foot, almost unsinkable, and you'll be in there with 9 or 10 other paddlers, and you could participate with that way too as well. That's actually another Indiana Bicentennial event. The Indiana Humanities Group is doing this. Reading and talking about local history and ecology, kind of concurrently while we're doing the fun float in these big Voyager
How
canoes.
neat.
So
I would
a lot
need one of
really
those
neat
big
things
boats.
to do. What's that?
I said I would need to be in one of the big boats.
Yeah.
I found I'm not such a great paddler.
Tell them the
This-
story there, young Mary Anthony. On
we
Younger
had
Life
camped
Live.
as my family, my parents, and my sister's family had gone camping, and I had not rowed a boat in a long time, and said, let me try. And my dad happened to be in with myself and a few of the younger kids, and in case I got stranded. And he said, no, let me row. And I said, no, I really want to try it. I kept spinning us in a circle until my nephew said, I'm getting dizzy. Are we almost done? And, he's 9. So it was funny. We got a good laugh. And I said, I'll get us there, but I'm not so great. I'd probably do much better in a large boat where there's already other paddlers. I can cheer them on.
It'd be great if you come up. So.
That would be a really good time. It sounds
Let's go
neat.
to our next folks here,
Mr.
because
Johnson,
it's
how will-
Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, how far are you? Are you running then? Or are you?
I'm planning to run.
Okay.
I assume
Yeah.
everybody's running, but I guess not. But I'm going to do running. But I have to say something. We were talking about the paddling. I taught Indian history for 25 years, and René Robert Cavalier Sieur de La Salle was the first white person, explorer, to come through this part of Indiana, right down the Kankakee River in canoes with his fellow Frenchmen. So I think that's really historic, you know. I think
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Nice time.
And the humanities group will actually kind of refer to a lot of that history. So
It's
I think that's
fantastic.
great. That really ties in well.
Have you been kind of practicing there or what?
I've been practicing for a long, long time. Yes, I'm bringing the torch into downtown LaPorte. I'm the first
Oh,
one.
really?
There's a student who's passing it on to me on Highway 2, and then I bring it in there by Wings, etc., and some way out by Walmart, and coming in on Lincoln Way, and hopefully there will be no train going across there. But then I go to Boston Street where the East End Shopping Center is, and I pass it on to a fellow teacher and a fellow board member of the Historical Society, Bonnie DeWolf.
Oh, how great.
Now, I'm going to segue. If you throw your headsets on, Mary Anthony, because she's at school right now with her class. Bonnie DeWolf is on the line with us right now.
speaking
Hi,
of,
Bonnie.
All right, big round of applause, everybody, for Bonnie. Let's hear it. How are you, Bonnie?
Well, I don't think we need a big round of applause, but I am grateful to be part of your conversation.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and about your part in this, please.
Well, as Bruce just mentioned, Bruce will be handing off the torch to me over at what I would consider Cablelands East in LaPorte, Indiana. And then I will be carrying it from there up to Rose Street, which is about a half mile, I suppose. But I don't have any railroad crossings, so I feel pretty good about it. There's just a couple stoplights, and I'm not worried. I'm really excited. This is a good time. I'm hoping a lot of my students will be out there, and as well as other people in the community. I think it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing for all of us to see, and I hope, and it's what a great day that it's a Saturday. I mean, a lot of people will have the opportunity to get out and see us on a Saturday. If it was during the week, we might not have quite as many, so I'm hoping a lot of people will be out on a Saturday.
Bonnie, give us a little insight as to your excellent background, and thank you for what you do for our community and our children. Tell us a little bit about Bonnie, please.
Well, Bonnie DeWolf teaches at Boston Middle School here in LaPorte, Indiana. I have been teaching for 20 years U.S. history here in this building. I coach 3 sports. So I coach cross country, which is what we're going through right now, and then we go into basketball and then into girls track. I'm also involved with our student council. We do a lot of community service projects here that I'm very proud of. And I also teach an academic team that studies social studies in U.S. history, and we do an academic team competition in April of every year, so I'm really proud of them for that. As far as personally, when I get out of school, which seems like many students think I live here, which sometimes I wonder myself, but then I go out to I'm part of the Historical Society Board, as Bruce had mentioned. I'm grateful for his friendship for that. I'm also part of the library, the Friends of the library board here, and in LaPorte, and helping them with mainly like their book sales and other community projects that they have. I have also been part of the Salvation Army and their food pantry in our community. I'm also a member at St. Peter's Catholic Church here in LaPorte. So I feel like I've have my hands in not only to the education of many students, 130 about every year, and then also into our community. So I'm grateful for that as well.
Fantastic. Go ahead, Mary.
dying to know what your students think of this. Are they really excited that you were chosen to be one of these torchbearers?
They are excited about that, and they've also, I think, but they keep bringing up all the things like, well, what if you fall, Mrs. Well, what? They come up with all the things that you're trying to forget. But I think it'll be just fine. So I hope that many of them get the opportunity to come out and watch. And if not me, someone see the torch as it goes through LaPorte County. That's for sure.
Awesome. Well, keep up the good work. Big round of applause for Bonnie DeWolf. Everybody! Thank you for your time. We'll see you on Saturday. Have a good one. All right. There you go. See how cool
Perfect.
this is? Let's do it. Go for it.
Yes, I was just gonna say, could you tell us, Chancellor, how far you're running and about where? And
My run is 0.8 of a mile, and it's at where 400 hits Johnson Road.
Oh, okay.
And so I go all on Johnson Road up to where it hits US 20. So it's about 0.8 of a mile. I was thinking when Bonnie was saying she was a cross country coach, we could have used her help in getting ready for this.
are you running then?
I'm going to try to run, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I have two granddaughters who run. Actually, you were talking about the torch before. I went to one of these meetings and actually saw the torch, and it's pretty cool. It weighs 3.5 pounds, and it's actually got a camera on it.
Really?
So believe it or not, it was made by a Purdue professor, and I just thought I'd get that in.
Of
But-
course.
But anyway, it's got, and you can turn it around. You can do a selfie, and you can take pictures of the crowd.
That's fabulous.
And actually,
I so like that.
Yeah.
they 3.5 pounds, not that heavy, but if you carry it for a while, it could be. So they actually have, they'll have people behind you, and if you get tired, somebody will take the torch from you, or they have an alternative, one that's not really lit, that weighs maybe just over a pound.
Oh.
But so I encourage anybody in the LaPorte County area to get out and watch the torch run. It should be fun. It's on a Saturday, and it should be a beautiful day, and it's just an honor for me to have been chosen.
You know what? I think this is going to be cool. I'm going to challenge you guys in the room and anybody listening that's a runner. Why don't you guys get crazy? Who could be the craziest one with that camera? You know what kind of fun I would have with that?
I would also say be careful. That's also how you could fall. I mean, selfies. That would be tough.
They're going to post the pictures almost immediately, and you'll get
That
access.
is
And
so-
actually,
that's such a
actually
neat
you can
aspect.
take video with the camera too.
Yeah.
Wow.
that's awesome.
I'm just curious, have any of you practiced actually carrying something of that weight? Because that doesn't sound like a lot, but I know occasionally walking or something, I'll carry hand weights. That's a lot.
I haven't practiced.
when
but,
you're holding
but
it.
They told us very clearly at the meeting that the top is a lit torch, so you have to hold it below the certain point. If you put it, if you touch it any higher, you're going to burn yourself. And so it's really important to be careful with the torch.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Well, and not everybody is, as said, just like Dan, walking or running. We have motorcycles,
Oh,
for
cool.
ours. We also, have folks who are, in other types of cars and
Sure,
vehicles. Jane Daly, they've got the convention visitors van. She's the first one. Our handoff is at Bendix Woods. There's a party. St. Joe County's doing a
wow,
big party at
okay.
Bendix Woods, and so that handoff will be there. Then it's going to go down into Rolling Prairie area, and hand off to a couple people. Then make its way, as Bruce was saying, toward LaPorte. Trying to think. But there's some other modes of transportation, like I
A
said,
lot
that
of
people are being
with
creative.
Subarus, because Subarus are built in Indiana.
Yeah, they're wanting Subarus if your car is not earlier than like 1990 or something. They
Yeah, it's like
prefer it
they
to
want
be
your
a
classic
Subaru.
car or a Subaru.
That's really neat.
Oh, a fire truck. Randy Novak will be using
Oh,
a fire
that's a
truck.
great idea.
Probably, potentially, I don't know if they'll be in police cars. Chris Yagelski is a runner, so he'll probably be running.
He'll probably have that little mini,
Anyone on the-
green friendly little car.
Yeah,
Or
he
anyone on
might.
those
That'll be
weird,
nice.
like those new crazy hoverboards.
Yes.
That would
Some
be
people are
funny.
asking, well, if you're in a car, do you have to just hold the torch outside the window? And they actually have a contraption where you can attach the torch to the car, just like when you go to a drive-in theater or something like that.
great.
And I'm sure the same thing will happen for you, Dan, with your.
Huh, I wonder if I could use a contraption on the kayak.
Yeah.
I think you probably could. You might
rather
want to
than
ask.
building
Yeah.
something. So,
you could-
okay.
I think that'll be the way it'll work.
That's
you think
everybody
about
asks
the-
me, how do you paddle with
you don't
holding
have-
a torch?
Yeah, you won't have to do that, I'm sure.
Think about the
Neat.
planning that went in just our county, the whole
Certainly.
state. It's been planning this, and it's taking like some states or counties I think aren't a whole day. Like we're basically coming in, and it's a good part of the day. But some of the smaller ones, I think they're just edging through counties somewhat. But they have had an immense planning process to handle all of this. I mean, it's really been intensive, I think, for them.
Can you tell us when the torch so obviously began in southern Indiana and is working its way up? Is that how we're doing
As
it?
far as we know, it's coming up that way.
Do
and
we
then-
know when that started?
Yes, it started October the
September.
September the 8th, I think.
Okay,
And
wow.
it started way down on the river. I think right about Louisville. It's been coming up, and I think we're like county number 80 or 81, and it goes
Okay.
around, and it'll end up in county number 92, which is Marion County.
Okay.
So I imagine they'll end up by the state house or something like that.
Certainly,
Yeah,
that
it
makes
started
perfect
in
sense.
Corydon because that was our first state
Yes,
capital.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I've been to Corydon, and it's funny when you say that. it's such a cool little town. It was the first state capital, but it's way, way south. And we actually just stumbled on it when we were vacationing south once. We thought, hey, why not stop? It's a neat little history lesson for the kids, and it's still fun.
You were just getting brownie points.
But
there
we
from
were,
your-
it's really true.
former guy
But
over
we
here.
were shocked at how much, it's such a cool little town, and it's such a beautiful place. So that's a perfect spot to start. That's great. And it's way down there. So, I mean, it makes perfect sense why they moved it to Indy, being
I am
essentially
very
located.
curious how everybody here got involved, because there's definitely a process, and I know that
Right.
Sandy and the board have been working well over a year with Jane and the crew in putting this together. So the process, I'll start with Mr. Johnson. How did you find out about it, and then were you nominated, or how did that all work?
Well, I found out about it because I have friends like Sandy who are on the committee, I thought this would be really exciting to be part of this, and I'd hoped I would be nominated, you know, because you couldn't nominate yourself. So, but fortunately, I had 5 different nominations.
Oh,
So former students, fellow teachers, friends. So it was really exciting. So I'm really glad to be part of this and to represent like the Historical Society, my former students, the school, South Central School, and the community. So it's really exciting.
Dan?
I've been involved with the Northwest Indiana Paddling Association for a number of years, and then a lot of conservation efforts. Shirley Hines Land Trust, been really involved with them, and then stuff through work with NiSource too for around conservation. So Jane Daly from the LaPorte County Convention Visitors Bureau actually nominated me. She thought it would really be neat to do something on Trail Creek. This Trail Creek Fun Float, which is actually the event that got the Paddling Association started. She thought it'd be great to kind of do it as part of that. So we moved the Fun Float from June to October, so we can get as many people on the water and out celebrating Indiana's bicentennial.
it's fantastic.
Chancellor?
I was also nominated by some people at Purdue North Central back maybe about a year ago, and I heard about it. They told me they'd nominated me, and then I didn't think much about it for a while, and then I got a letter in the mail saying that I had this great honor. So I'm just very pleased to be able to do this. I think it's, I guess I won't, none of us will be here for the next time we do this 100 years from now. So it's,
What are you talking about?
well, maybe
This
you
is
will.
Younger Life show,
Thank
right?
you, Sandy Klein.
Fantastic.
While we're on Chancellor, I want to throw this out there, because on the very radio station, Girard Media's WIMS AM 1420, Chancellor debuted his first book. And I wanted to throw this out there because if I'm not mistaken, my math is correct, over 5,000 copies sold on the first book. Am I correct on that,
Yes,
Chancellor?
that's correct. Yes.
Big round of applause for Chancellor. What a great endeavor. You brought with the newest selection. Tell us a little bit about it, please.
Again, thank you. I debuted the first book, The Dog and the Dolphin, which is a children's picture book back about 2 years ago. It was the first station I brought it in, and it's done well. But then when I go around to read to children, many times they ask me, will you write another book? So I finally did it. And this one is actually based on an observation I saw up in Michigan City, up by the lake, with the dog on a jet ski. So this was called The Dog and the Jet Ski, and it just came out in September, and it's just a real fun story. And it's meant for children probably ages 3 till about maybe 9 or 10 years old. And I've had many opportunities, probably with the first book, over 150 readings and signings, and one of the ones that I was most proud of, I was invited to go to Riley Hospital for Children, and I was actually invited just last week. I got a call back, would you come back and read your second book? So I was in a studio like this and read to all the kids. So just been a great honor, and for me, it's all about getting young kids interested in reading at an early age. So thanks for giving me the opportunity to mention this.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's
How can we get a
fantastic.
copy
I
of
love that.
Well, this is available on Amazon.com. This also is published by Archway, so you can go to the website of Archway Publishing. Also at Jane's Tourism Bureau, it's available there. It's available in the bookstore at PNC, and also at different places like Barnes & Noble. So it's pretty easy. And if you can't find them anywhere, just give me a call or hit an email to me at dorkandjim@gmail.com, and I can get you a copy.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, killer.
Do you illustrate your own as well?
No, I have a very well-known illustrator from Munster, Indiana. He's from Indiana. His name is Michael Chelich. Actually, he's actually done Senator Lugar. He's done 2 governors' portraits, and I just nominated him to be the illustrator for the portrait of Governor Pence. And I don't know if he'll get that,
fantastic.
but I was just so happy when he decided he would do this, and he has a good time with this too.
It's a beautiful, beautiful book too, which I love, and it's a great, great piece of work. It's got to make you feel good. What is the next thing after this? Are we doing a series here?
Well, actually, the Shirley Heinze Land Trust has been talking to us about maybe a book with the dog getting lost in some of their nice properties around here and meeting some different creatures. So thinking about that, and I have ideas all the time about books. But I thought I'd do a little series to start with about the dog and the dolphin who are friends. It's about friendship and adversity, and I think it gives a good message to the kids. And when my wife Nancy and I go into all the schools, we bring a dog. We bring a dolphin, just the either a hand puppet or stuffed animal. And now with the new book, we just got a inflatable jet ski, and so we always have
That's fantastic.
we have the kids play around and they have a good time and they get interactive, and it's just all about getting the kids interested. And the best thing to me is at the end of the reading, if one of the little kids, 4 or 5 year old, come up and say, "I'm going to go home and write a book about a dog and a dolphin,"
Yeah.
say, "High five for you, kiddo. Go ahead and do that."
We
Gotta-
love
Gotta
books.
make you feel good. I was going to say,
We
I love reading
love
too.
books. I'm curious as to why do you love dogs? I mean, is there a reason you picked a dog, or just because a dog? Every kid likes dogs.
Well, everybody likes dogs, but I was actually for the first book, I was on Sanibel Island off the coast of Fort Myers, Florida, and I actually saw a dog playing with a dolphin, first running back and down on the shore and in the water, and then I saw the dog jump in the water and play with the dog with the frisbee. So I just took it from there.
That's amazing. I mean, that would be an amazing thing to witness.
Yeah, it was fun.
That is really neat.
Speaking of books, I taught Indian history for 25 years, and I would always take all the fourth graders not only to Indianapolis every year to see the Supreme Court, the House of Representatives, and the Senate, but we'd take them to the museum in LaPorte, and we didn't have much to sell specifically to kids. So I developed a coloring book that was based on 16 historical sites in LaPorte County, and wrote a synopsis about each one in fourth grade level reading. And then
I should have brought that
Joyce
today.
Keene, who was a local artist who did the drawings for me, and it's now in its 5th printing, and it's being used in some of the county schools in the 3rd grade classes.
It's fantastic.
These are awesome.
It's
This
awesome
is
because
so
it's
great.
all our county stuff and just this history involved in it. My kids, actually, my oldest daughter was in Mr. Johnson's class also, and this is his second to last year before he retired. I kept saying, "What? I have all these other kids. You can't do that. You can't leave yet." But we still have it, and they love it. It's just one of those books that we keep out, like with our coloring books, and they can look at it, and I could say, "Hey, we know. I can take you where this is." It's just really neat, and they love that. So
How did that come about? Was it just something, obviously, your
Well, like I
cool
said, I wanted
background?
something that
Yeah.
was educational, that they could learn about our own county, but also the excellent drawings in it they could color.
Yeah.
But I also had laid out a map in there so families could go out and find these different locations. And so it's been very successful.
yeah, it's awesome,
very
isn't it?
cool.
It's
Yeah.
so
We're so
cool.
lucky to have historians like Bruce, and I want to mention too, Fern Eddie Schultz has been a part of our committee, because definitely Fern is such an asset too to the Historical Society, to the whole community. And with this 200th anniversary, certainly having all this knowledge of the community is so great. And we want to make sure that we let people know, invite them to the parties that are connected with this,
Please.
because we have 2 major parties happening, and the first one is really a more family oriented, in that it's from noon to 4 p.m. at the Plaza 618 in LaPorte. And so the
Now
torch-
that is the Younger Life Plaza, right?
the Younger Life Plaza, and the torch will be coming through there at some point. But there's going to be tied into the downtown trick or treat, so there's going to be a lot of kids and fun going on. There'll be free pizza. There'll be games. Christy Chatterton from the library has put games and scavenger hunt and things together for people to do there. So that'll be a lot of fun in LaPorte. And then at the end of the night, once Dan brings up the torch, at 5 o'clock, we're going to be at North Point Pavilion in Washington Park under Fire and Water. And that's where we will do the final, where we finish this celebration. There'll be some bison sliders there from Fire and Water, and we'll have a band playing and a few people speaking, and just a good time. So we really want the whole community to come out. These are free events, and certainly you have kids, you have grandkids, but all ages. Please come out and join us. Be along the route. They don't encourage people to walk in groups. We initially thought, we could have groups of people walk. Unity Foundation actually has a torchbearer that we nominated. It's his name's Joe Henning. He's a New Prairie high school student who is a youth philanthropist. He helps work through Leadership LaPorte County, and they make grants and do a lot of great work and things in the community. So we thought we could be kind of back behind him and said, no, for safety reasons, people can't be out on the route, but they can stand along the route.
That's a good point. I mean, people should definitely know that. We want people to come out and cheer on our torchbearers and celebrate with, but definitely stay out of the pathway.
Have their flags.
Yes.
We bought these as a committee
love
too.
these.
As a little fundraiser and a commemorative. We're selling these for $2. So if
Oh.
anybody would like to, to have a flag, again to remember this, to put it on your desk, to share with your classrooms, that would be great.
I wanted to mention about the Mobile Museum that's coming too.
Oh.
That'll be sitting there by Plaza 618 in LaPorte. But it's a nice huge semi that has displays on the inside of it about Indiana history. We were not able to have the train come to LaPorte, but this is coming instead. And I think it's really going to be cool. So people can go through there and learn all kinds of interesting facts about Indiana.
That's fantastic. And that, just to clarify, is Saturday noon to 4, you said, right? That's the part of the family, and that will be there. That would be awesome. That's a really good time. And they get to see the runners too. How neat,
So I'm excited about this whole entire run. It's a great historical event right here in our backyard. It's great to have everybody, of course, here in the studio with us here on Younger Life Live. Thanks to Sanders, our executive producer. We've got a couple of other things we want to throw out there, and I would love for you guys to throw out some final thoughts. Sandy, with the committee, I know that you guys have worked really hard on piecing this all together. I know that they can call it the CVB 872-5055 in the 219 area code. I know there's a direct connect. But what else would you like to throw out there for folks outside of the parties and the route? And it's this Saturday, and we all need to be there. All that fun stuff.
That's a great wrap up, actually. Like I said, the torchbearers, hopefully we'll see all of them too at the end. Where if you want to come and meet the torchbearers or, see everybody in their regalia, a photo op, certainly. I think it's a good time for people to, take photo ops. The bison, another cool thing to add is the bicentennial bison, Sierra Mulligan, a young, she's like a 21-year-old LaPorte County student. She painted that bison, and every county has at least one of them. We are auctioning that off.
Really?
And we're taking sealed bid auctions. We would encourage anyone who is interested. What we'd really like to see happen is go to the museum or someplace where it would be on permanent display rather than hidden away somewhere. We think it would be a really cool thing to have out as a reminder.
We'd love to have it too.
So if anybody wants to bid for the museum
awesome
and give it
around,
to
but-
them, or cobble together a bid.
Bull rides.
Dan's house.
That's
I don't
funny.
think it would fit through the door.
It is beautiful. And I didn't realize we have had United Way on a few times because it's amazing the things they do for our community that we're unaware of that they do. But I didn't realize that they donated the bison.
They did. The United Ways were asked throughout Indiana to take that role, and so they did so. And then a Lake Hill student named Mackenzie named it Bicentennial Bill. So it's
funny.
got its name.
That's a cute name.
Yeah, it is. It's-
B-I-S-O-N.
Yes,
Bison.
exactly. Because that's the state, of course, that's our state mascot animal. So it's been in parades, 4th of July parades, Westwell Pumpkin Fest, all over the place. It's attached to a flatbed and it goes.
It really is it's done very well. It looks really nice. It's very eye-catching.
You might have seen it at parades, at the Maple City Grand Prix,
Yeah.
at the Great Lakes Grand Prix. I mean, there's just everywhere around the area.
It's neat.
Which I
It's
love.
it was a very creative theme in general. I just didn't realize United Way was tied
I'm
to
still
that
picturing
too.
Dan's big party. With the barbecue, us all over there, woo, and Sandy, woo.
Yeah.
That's gonna be great too at Fire and Water, or
What a beautiful
it's gonna be
thing.
great.
Yeah. It's supposed to be a gorgeous weekend.
Yeah.
We really will be lucky there, I hope.
So, what's your final thoughts there, young man? Are you happy to be doing this?
I am
You gotta
really
be
happy
excited.
about this. I'm hoping for great weather, and that all my friends and former students will come out and watch. I put this on Facebook. I've sent out emails and had publicity in the paper, actual publicity. So I'm hoping everybody turns out. Yeah.
Absolutely, Dan.
Still like to invite folks. One real neat kind of perk as far as being part of the paddle. We had our Trail Creek Fun Float shirts actually have the Indiana Bicentennial torch on it. We're making them commemorative, but we made the flame actually glow in the dark. So it's kind of a neat,
how cool.
kind of a neat commemorative thing that we had 200 and some shirts printed up. So especially with our early sunsets around here, you'll be able to come out and see. I think it'll be pretty neat at the party to see a bunch of people out with these shirts, and if we have extras, we'll pass them out to people at North Point Pavilion who will join us too as well that night. So,
can you tell us, Dan, how someone, if they're interested in actually joining the paddle, should they pre-register for that, or
yeah,
kind of
easiest thing, they don't need to pre-register if they have their own boats, but show up at by say 2:30, 3 o'clock, in between there at Washington Park.
Okay.
We also have the information on the Northwest Indiana Paddling Association's website, nwipa.org, and if they want to borrow one of our boats, one of our loaner boats, that's how we have the pre-registration system.
Okay,
What's
that
in
makes
place there. Sorry, I got tongue-tied.
Absolutely phenomenal. Well, a big round of applause for everybody that has come into our Younger Life Live studios today. You guys are absolutely awesome, and I'm so looking forward to not only the event, we'll be following it. Jeff and Julie Santana, along with Dave, will be on live on Saturday morning. I know we'll be going through this rewind, of course, this weekend. We'll have excerpts from this great interview, and of course, the interview that we did with Jane and, of course, Linda Simmons and Rick Wright about the whole other side of, formulating and getting us to this point right now, which is this upcoming weekend, which is so exciting. For Saturday, October 8th.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. I bet, Sandy, I have to say, all of you that have been involved in the planning of, I imagine that party will be much a relief, because it's taken, I'm sure, so much to plan something like this when it's such an expansive thing.
Well, especially for Mitch Bishop, the county planner, for instance, going out and doing the route and going through all this. And, we've actually had Christy went to Indianapolis for, a meeting as well that we needed to attend in order to get a grant. And you mentioned legacy projects too. That's something exciting to know. Unity Park, which we just handed off to the city of LaPorte, the 2 acres of lakefront that we preserve for the, generations to come, was one of the legacy projects. The library, I believe their flags that they have on the flag post in downtown LaPorte. So there's a lot of legacy projects. Bruce was a director of Who's Your Composers, which several of us acted and sang in at Little Theater as a legacy project. So there's been a lot of great things going on that may have been under people's radar, but to adds up to a whole to be just fabulous.
I submitted 3 legacy projects that were all accepted. One was the one at the museum, Historical Study. Our project was to highlight 45 famous people from Indiana, from LaPorte County, who went on to become nationally famous or internationally famous. And then, like we said, the Hoosiers and music show that I put together at Little Theater. And then I'm the historian and tour guide for the Door Village Harvest Festival. So all 3 of those I'm involved with that were legacy projects for this.
We had one with the Michigan City put in the ADA launch. It was the first in the state of Indiana. So this is a great opportunity for people who are disabled and might not be able to walk, but they definitely can kayak. And we went from 0 in the entire state of Indiana a year ago. By the end of this summer, we'll have 5, and we'll have be one of the leaders in the whole country. So Michigan City was really a great, Michigan City Parks Department who built that and helped fund it, as well as the Indiana DNR Coastal Program. Really helped kind of set the stage for Indiana to be a leader in helping people with disabilities be able to start enjoying the outdoors a little bit more. So it's well used. Lots of people have been using it. We've got one at Gary and the Marquette Lagoons. We've got one on Deep River. We've got one going on the East Branch, a Little Cal in Chesterton, another one on Lake George. So, but this was a great thing that's being well used. A lot of people love, people who might not be able to walk or hike in the dunes can get out and actually experience nature in the water. I've always said water is kind of the great equalizer when it comes to being able to get around.
What I wanted to say to people is, if you think about it, 4th of July comes every year. You miss one fireworks, you can go next year. Same with Labor Day, Veterans Day. But this event we're talking about, and I want to encourage everybody who's listening or watching, this is a once-in-a-lifetime event.
Absolutely.
So if you miss this one, you won't have a chance again. So I think everybody who's listening or watching, tell all your friends, come on out and be a part of this, because then this is something, even if you're 10 years old, this is something 80 years from now you could be talking about to your great-grandchildren, that you went to the bicentennial in the state of Indiana and you saw the torch run. So I just think that I'm so excited to be a part of it, and I hope that everybody comes out and takes a look.
I think that's wonderfully said. That's a great point. This isn't something we're going to see again. This isn't something that we're going to be able to celebrate again. It is a big deal, and it's interesting. And there are so many projects and activities that maybe we haven't heard of, or we get caught up in our own busy lives. But take a break and try to take this in, at least so the kids, they'll always remember that if you can kind of tell them about it and prepare them for it. So
It's kind of neat that you have all these community pillars just alone in this room. These are the people that are making it happen. These are the people that have created neat things with decades of experience right here in this room, with the utmost respect to this room. But I love it because you teach your children, your grandchildren, bring them out. This is one of those events that it's free.
That's it. You don't get that very often either. Free family events.
I say that. I remember being a little boy and doing all kinds of neat things with my parents, and whether it was camping, whether it was going out to events in our town or a parade. These are the things that I remember that I hold near and dear to my heart. And as my daughters are women at 18 and 22, same thing, and I know you are with your 5 children.
Yes, and this is just one of those really, really cool things that, again, you'll never get to share with them in the same capacities.
One of the things is they picked this idea because of the Olympics, because every time there's an Olympics, they take the torch from Greece and travel all over the world. And it's bringing countries together. So they chose this idea, thought, what a neat thing to do. Let's do a torch, because on our state flag is the torch. And this design is from that state flag design of the torch. And it's pulling all 92 counties together. So this is the biggest part of the whole bicentennial.
I love that unity aspect. I was curious how they came up with this idea. I feel like it is... of course we want to celebrate it in a big way, but I was curious as to how they came up with that. That makes perfect sense, especially with the torch being on our flag.
Isn't that great? You got that from our teacher over there.
I'm always learning. Always learning.
I took 12 students, Mrs. Barco and I took them we were in Greece this summer.
I know, yes.
And we got to see one of the actual torches that was used for the Olympics in 2000.
Wow.
But anyway, we thought, that's right. We're having a torch relay in our own state, pulling all of our little 92 counties together.
For those kids too, that's a great point. I bet that, of course that trip is a trip of a lifetime, but the torch, they probably can relate to that. It will mean something different to them come Saturday, than
because
maybe
we were in
students.
Olympia and saw where the
Isn't that
torch
amazing?
always gets lit.
We saw pictures.
That's incredible.
And how they use the lens, the magnifying lens, to get light to get the torch started. And I said, guys, look at this. This is where it started.
It's amazing.
This is thousands of years of history right here.
Yeah.
And we're doing this in Indiana.
Was there a lot of jaws that were dropping? It's got to make you feel good too. I'm
it
sure
was really cool. Really
Yeah.
cool. Wonderful experience. Chance of a lifetime. Yes.
Fantastic.
Absolutely great.
So much
I do
fun.
kind of, put it in perspective though. That happens every 4 years. We're doing it once every 100
Yes.
years, or maybe every 200 years. So it's pretty neat to
Yeah, absolutely.
think about how rare
Maybe-
this opportunity is.
Maybe we need to get this group here on a committee to do it like once every 10.
Well, then it wouldn't be as special. Then it wouldn't be so enormous,
Sandy's like, Federici.
Sandy said,
We're working on
please
this
do
one
not
right
put me
here."
on that list.
Yes.
She's had enough going on, I'm sure.
Sandy,
Everyone.
On a side note, I want to throw this out there. You're so involved, and you have been for years, with music, theater, the arts. You're obviously with the Unity Foundation as the VP. You have sat on a number of boards. You do a lot of great stuff. On that spin, what would you say out there to that young professional, that young person that wants to get involved with a passion? You have followed your dream all your life, and I think that's a really cool path for something that you've done personally. You and I have chatted about this before.
Well, and actually, Rick, I was going to mention to you afterwards, end of the year, I'm going into an early retirement because I'm a writer by trade as well and passion. And so I've got 2 completed novels. They are based in LaPorte County. And these are adult women's fiction novels. And I want to look for an agent, publishing, and write more. I have other ideas based in the county. And that's really what I do want to pursue, in addition to continue to do the music and the acting, the really great things. But for young professionals and others, I would say absolutely, just like everyone here has, find something you love and embrace it. Go out and be involved, make your mark. Really, there are things you can do, there are ways you can be involved, you can volunteer, and don't let life pass you by without as Chancellor Dorkin said, coming out to these events, being part of something, even if you're not a torch runner, if you didn't get that great opportunity, boy, you can be there and you can, be part of the crowd. And the next time, maybe you'll be the torch runner.
Yeah, really well said. I think that you'll find with people who are the torchbearers, they're the people who are out there love kind of mentoring the next generation of folks. If you have a dream, meet a torchbearer, because look at in the last week they had and it was actually this week in the newspaper, had a little biograph of everybody who was in LaPorte County. It tells about look at those people, those are great people for you to meet. I mean, I think back 15, 20 years ago when I said I wanted to be a leader in the environmental community, and I looked around, people like Lee Botts and Mark Rushkin and folks like that, and those are the people who really kind of mentored me. And I think all of us are always looking for that next generation almost to literally pass the torch on to. So
Yeah, good point.
Excellent job. Well, without further ado, we're going to call this one to a wrap. You and I will talk for the next few minutes as we wrap up Younger Life Live here about some of the upcoming things that we're going to have on in the next few days. I want to throw this out there. Judge Greta Friedman was here in studio yesterday, and they've got a big event coming up at our courts today.
Right.
A little
and
bit later on this
Melissa
evening.
Fitzgerald's going to be the guest speaker. She was on West Wing, and she is a she's an activist all over the world, really, for human rights and stuff, but she's special, near and dear to her heart is the Justice for Vets program. And so today is a drug court graduation that they're having in LaPorte, and it is open to the public. And, it's an amazing celebration. I was shocked to learn, one, that I didn't really know about drug courts and what that all involved, but it's a very lengthy process, and it's extremely rigorous for the participants. And, it can take quite a while, but these people, they deserve the honor of the celebration, and it's just amazing. Sounds extremely moving. That's this evening at 5:30 at the county complex. And again, the public's welcome. They do ask if you're bringing a group just to shoot them an email. And that was on Facebook. Rick put the email on Facebook yesterday, just so that way they have an idea to plan for cake and punch.
Yeah, that's T. Piotrowski at LaPorteCounty.org is a great email for them. And it was an honor to have them in here. In fact, Mary and I were hanging loose. As you guys know, Younger Life is an uninterrupted, event here, and it's brought to you by the LaPorte Hospital each and every day, which I absolutely love. And it was kind of nice because both ladies were going back and forth, and we had such a great rapport. But the insight and the knowledge that they bestowed upon us,
and we have the
wonderful.
luxury then of taking our time through the stories and finding out so much more than what you can squeeze in sometimes into a real typical, have to squeeze it in. So we're fortunate to get to do that. And so that was really, it was a fabulous discussion
I'm going to ask this
yesterday.
question around the room. Have any of you guys played pickleball? Do you know what pickleball is?
No.
I know, but I haven't played.
Oh,
You played it?
We are challenged to do pickleball. Talk about it. Have you really done it?
Well, I know what it is because I used to play tennis, and it's basically an adaptation of tennis, and it's popular for old people. Mary, you're going to be kind of young to play pickleball.
Really?
But,
It's funny. They
I know
say it's like all the rage now. And so
Yeah.
we had a challenge post us. We're actually playing tomorrow.
And you play with a littler racket, a smaller racket, and a different type of ball. But it's you don't have to run around too much. It's not as hard.
Yippee.
On your knees. So I know people who played golf for like years and years, and they tell me I don't play golf anymore. I just play pickleball every day. If you go down to South Florida right now, all the old people you'll find playing pickleball, men and women.
They say
just
it's
have a great
everywhere.
time.
It's everywhere right now.
It's doubles also. Well, it takes Indiana a little while longer to get pickleball, but it's been in the South for a long time. Yep. So
That's what they say since actually I
awesome.
Where are you going to
believe
play?
The NAC, the
Yeah,
Northwest
the NAC.
Athletic Club. He's going to explain a little bit
He's going
to
to
us.
teach us tomorrow, and he's going to tell us about it,
You're
and then we're
razzing
going
me
to
a
try
little
it out.
bit, but we're very competitive, but in a cool way.
In a fun
But I
way.
think we're going to be on the same team.
Yeah.
It'll be a good time. So we're going to give it a shot at
Are you
least.
going to wear a helmet in case you get injured?
What should I?
Is that part of the equipment? I don't even know. I really, so I looked it up and read a
You'll
little
have a
bit
good
about
time.
it. It sounds like a lot of fun.
Post some pictures on Facebook. I'd like to see this.
Right, there
It'll
you
be
go.
on air too. So
He's looking for some injuries here. Yeah.
No injuries.
how funny.
Well, the show Younger Life Live is all about living younger longer, all the different great things. And I'm really excited that a part of the run, as we kind of bring this to a close here today on Younger Life Live, Is that the Legacy Plaza and some of the things that are going on, with the Younger Life Live Plaza?
Oh yeah,
some of the
I
great
love
things
that.
that are
That's
going
fantastic.
on.
I
It's
didn't
great.
realize. I knew that there was a gathering there. I didn't realize that it was going to be to the extent that it is. And we love Christy. She's been on the show many times. We love her, and the library does phenomenal
We love our
things for the
libraries.
community too. So that, along with the little mobile.
And I didn't realize that until
I
Mr.
know.
Johnson said that
How cool.
going to be like a traveling museum.
Yeah.
And the other side of it is
Sending-
being able to
I
paddle.
love that.
God,
I think
that's
that would
cool.
be so cool. I love that
Yeah.
that you guys are loaning out boats too. I feel like that's something that you can't get everywhere. To say you participated, you know what I mean? So how
We
cool.
debuted the new book by Chancellor Dworkin.
Mm-hmm.
We found out that Sandy Gleim's retiring at the end of the year and has 2 books.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
found out all these cool things about Mr. Johnson, not only the
Mm-hmm.
museum, all the incredible things that he's involved with in our
Mm-hmm.
community, past and present, the Greece trip. I would love to see pictures on that.
Beautiful.
That's a
I've
whole
seen
thing unto
some,
itself.
yeah.
And Dan, the man,
Yeah.
not only going to his new gig, but wrapping it up in style. As
Mm-hmm.
it comes to kind of a close, but what a nice way. Are you feeling good about that? Is it
Yeah,
something that you're
Absolutely.
looking forward
Nice
to?
Horse and NIPSCO has been very supportive of
Good.
everything that I've been involved in for many years, and it's going to be a little bit bittersweet, but look forward to future partnerships. So,
Change always is
Yeah.
bittersweet. I always think that.
I'm
It
with
is.
you on that.
I love it, but it's hard. I mean, so.
and I get an
Good
idea.
deal.
How about a dog in that kayak?
Yeah,
Next
there
month?
you go.
Oh.
Carrying that torch.
We actually have a dog who kayaks with us
Yeah.
almost every event. He's world famous Nelly. His name is. It's a husky who paddles
Send me a
with us.
picture. I'll take a look at it.
Yeah.
Does he really? He paddles?
He comes. Well, he sits in the boat, but he's kind of become our mascot.
That's
He'll be
so
out
neat.
there on Saturday. He's probably the nicest dog you'd ever see. So.
Oh, that's really
He's been
neat.
around the world. I think he's going up to Alaska on a paddling trip
could
soon
meet your
with his
dog.
owner. So.
So he's not your dog.
No, he's Lee Stepanski, his name. He's one of our big volunteers, but he brings his dog everywhere.
That's
So,
fantastic.
Absolutely phenomenal. Well, as we come to a wraps here on Younger Life Live, we'd like to thank all of our great guests. How about a big round of applause?
Thank you.
for all our great guests?
Thank you. Thank you.
We'd like to thank you all. Mary, Anthony, and I will, of course, be back tomorrow for another great edition, whether it's pickleball and all kinds of fun stuff. I'm really looking forward to that. On behalf of us all at Gerard Media LLC, Younger Life Live, thank you to the LaPorte Hospital for their great sponsorship. I'm Rick Federici.
I'm Mary Anthony. Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now listening to the beginning of a new way of living. It's Younger Life.